Oh, hello. Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. So this week, as we're rolling into the new year, I thought it'd be a great week for us to look at some of my favorite passages out of an Old Testament book called Proverbs. Proverbs are proverbs. They're information and adages to live by. They're good general practice rules that we can use to make every day of our life a better day. And the one that I want to start out with is one that comes from some questions I often get from people. And I've got these binoculars, which didn't work because I had the caps on them, but if I took the caps off, these help you see things closer. And one of the questions that I frequently get is, how do I know the will of God for me? How do I determine what God wants me to do? Sometimes it's a young person who's trying to figure out what to major in college. Sometimes it's somebody figuring out whom to date or who to marry. Or sometimes it's someone who's trying to figure out where to live. Or even something as small as which car to buy or where to go eat dinner. There are some people so tuned in to wanting to do God's will that they are even seeking it out in the smallest moments of action or inaction that they do. And so they come to me and they say, well, how do I figure it out? What do I use to look through to see what God's will might be for me? One of my favorite passages from that is found in the 3rd chapter of Proverbs. It's verse 5 and 6. And it's the video thought I have for you today. Here's what it says. It says, if you will trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding, if in all of your ways you will acknowledge him, he will make straight your paths. Now I want you to break this down with me because this is important. It begins with trust. And the word for trust here in the Hebrew is a word that means to rely upon or to lean on. It's kind of a play off of the next lean in the passage. So it's trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Lev, the word for heart in Hebrew, was where they thought the mind was. So that actually means in your thinking, rely upon the Lord. Now, the only way you're going to do that is to read about him, to study his word, to find out what his priorities are, to find out what he values. And when you find out what God values and you rely upon that instead of your own understanding, you are halfway there. Now, where's the other half? It's verse 6. In all of your ways, acknowledge him. The word for acknowledge is just yadaz, the Hebrew word for know. It's to be intimate with. So in everything that you and I do, first, we confidently seek him out to understand him. But then when we do things, we do it integrating in what we know of God. We acknowledge him. We put what we know of him into the situation. So now what do we have? First 3 clauses. We have to trust, to rely upon the Lord, to lean on him with all of our understanding. And don't rely upon what we do on our own. So go learn about God and lean on God, and in all of your ways, put that knowledge into play, and then you got the answer. He will make your paths straight. Now, sometimes he'll tell you go left because you need to go left, and he'll make it clear to you. And sometimes he'll say go right because you need to go right, and he'll make it clear to you. As long as you're willing to do whatever he wants you to do, he will make it clear. You say, well, Mark, I'm willing, but sometimes he doesn't make it clear. Why? Because there are times where he says, you decide. I'm going to bless you either way you go. So the assurance we have is as we learn of him and rely on him and trust him, then he's going to make our paths straight. It's the Hebrew PL form of the verb yada. He's going to, not yada, excuse me. He's going to make our path straight. He'll make it happen. And that's the assurance we've got from that proverb. More Proverbs to come. If you like this, find it helpful, beneficial, put some comments down below, hit subscribe or hit like, and let's get YouTube to put this word out. Oh, that we could all walk better in the will of God, because that's a vision worth catching. See you tomorrow.